Alright, welcome to EP5. This is Pierre, your host, and today I'm here with
Martinez.
Martinez, welcome to the channel. Today is a different topic. Today I'm actually doing my first interview, which is very special because I've never done an interview for my channel, so it's special to have you here.
Appreciate it, brother.
It's not only a special situation, but it's also a special topic, right? Something that you've been wanting to talk about, right?
Yes.
Trying to help people out. But before we get into that, I want to start with some sort of biography for me. I want to know more about you. So explain to us and the audience something about yourself.
Yeah, brother. So I'm Jeff Martinez. I'm 32 years old, so I'm pretty old. I'm getting up there now. So I have, I feel like I have some life experiences now. And back in 2016, I decided to get clean. I was addicted to opioids. I started off with painkillers, and then it led up to heroin to one point. So it was pretty intense. So it was 2016, 7 years ago. So I feel like it's been a process to stay clean, and I just want to share my story to hopefully could help someone out. Whoever is trying to be clean or trying to get clean, I could give them some tips on on how to make it. It was a pretty hard road, but it's a journey that it's well worth it.
And as you say, simplifying is basically drug addiction, right? It's hard. It's hard to take out an abstract from that topic, especially when you've been clean for 7 years. It's kind of cool to see those type of things. Was it hard to quit?
Yeah, bro. It was like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I kind of, I should start from the beginning, because I know we see people in the streets. Sometimes we see homeless people, and we just assume oh, they just started off right there, But it's a process, bro. It's drugs. It starts off as a good time. You feel invisible, like invincible. You feel it helps you with your anxiety, and but it also gets to the point where it gets bad. It gets to that point. So I kind of want to start off with the beginning. So
take us back.
Yeah, I'll take you back to. So I'm first generation from my family here. From my parents are from Mexico. So I'm a sibling of 5. So I'm the second oldest. We go 4 years in between. So my older sister's 4 years, and then my younger sister, and then it goes on, right? So I'm the second oldest. So growing up, I was, I didn't have like a sibling there to help me out, because my sister was already, in 4th grade, but I was in kindergarten. So you know how it is when you're first generation. Like your first language is, Spanish. My first language is Spanish. So school was really hard. In the beginning, I remember my mom switching me from school to school. Trying to, I think they even held me back a year, just because I couldn't understand, my first language is Spanish, so it was pretty tough growing up. So eventually what helped me, eventually I got to a school after 3 schools that my mom switched me out. We got to a good school, and what really helped me get friends was sports for me. That was the thing that really, I got to get to know guys, that hey, I didn't want to be the guy that didn't get picked,
Right.
So I kind of focused on all right, I gotta be good, so I could get some friends, and then they want to pick me. So as a young kid, I felt like that really I took sports serious for some reason. And so when I was 7 years old, I also, I'm a church kid as well. I grew up in church. So we after church, the kids also, we went to go play soccer. So naturally, I was just naturally pretty decent at soccer, when I was a kid. So I remember when when one of the church guys there like, hey, how old are you? And so he got me. So when I was 7 years old, I started my little soccer, because it was a club team, right? The club team.
Soccer career.
Yeah. So I played 1 year with the church group, and then eventually, the next year, a team in Scottsdale, they're like, hey, you're pretty good. They're talking to my dad, hey, you're pretty good. We'll help you, because it gets pretty expensive. We'll help you, keep you here, if you go with us. So I went to a different team, And I just felt like, sports and soccer was like a thing that
Took you away from trouble.
it took me away, so it saved me. So it kept me busy. I felt like I was really I overthink a lot, because I was such a quiet kid because I didn't have many friends. So I was just observant and quiet a lot. So I was always in my head. So I feel like I was prone to, I had some depression even as a kid. I remember being sad at days and stuff. But I feel like soccer and you know how it is when you play sports, bro. Like with the team, and then you score. Because I was a forward, so when I scored, like that feeling, I feel like it could be a small addiction, like when you score, you feel that feeling, bro, like it's intense, and then everybody's hugging you, all your friends, all your teammates, and the parents are all cheering for you. So I feel like that kind of like made me like feel, that like helped me in my personal life as well, just because I feel like, oh, like I'm worth it, I'm worth something. I felt something like that, as a kid.
You feel special.
Yeah, I feel special some way, and
did this foreshadow into the future?
yeah, this leads up to the reasoning. So I played literally soccer since I was 7 years old to college. So literally every year, I didn't really have breaks. So I was in a traveling team. At one point, going to different states, playing. Until I went to college. So I got to college. Before college, in high school, senior year, you want to go party. You start with weed, right? You start with smoking and parties and drinking. I wasn't really too much of a drinker, but weed was really like, it took me out of my mind. It helped me take me out of my reality. So I started off with weed, and then eventually, once I got to college and I started, going to those parties, it's more, different type of drugs. So at one point, in college, I kind of just faded away from playing soccer. Like I just wasn't able to keep up no more. My grades were bad. I feel like I was partying too much, focusing on girlfriends, at the time, and I just didn't focus. So it kind of got me into depression again. Got me in that depression because I feel like I put so much time and effort in a career that, as a soccer player, you're like, oh, I'm going to be playing soccer, and, this is my thing. I put too much time. I put so much time. And I was already like 20, 21, so eventually I just, I quit. I quit on myself. I quit soccer, and it kind of left a void in my life, it kind of left, like, what else? Like, what do I do? That's all I knew.
How did it feel, that feeling?
Oh, bro, it was like the worst, that's what led, like, the depression, the depression of, like, putting all that time and effort into something that, just didn't go nowhere. Like, I didn't know how to, I didn't even have jobs before. So it's not like I had good communication skills or nothing, I didn't know how to work even, I didn't know how to talk to people as well, that's all I do, playing soccer and my teammates, and then, scoring, and then, your teammates and your families getting all excited. That's all I knew. So reality hit once I stopped playing soccer, so that depression hit.
How did you numb it?
That's when I started, I got introduced to painkillers. Percocets and Vicodin. So I had a friend at a house one time. He brought it over and he was smoking it out of a foil. And a group of friends that were there were like, that's weird, because all we knew was smoking weed at the time, So we were kind of like, oh, that's weird, that's a little weird. But he kind of was like, hey, well, try it out, see how it feels. So me just being so down on myself, and just so depressed, I was like, all right, you know what, if, just to get me out of this reality, let me try it out. So it started off by, taking, I was popping the pills as well, but you could also smoke it out of a foil, so it's pretty nasty just to think about it, but that's how it was, bro. Like, I literally was, just trying to numb my depression, numb my, when you're dealing with Percocets and like painkillers, the whole point is to numb your body, right? Like, it's for pain, right? So it blocks a receptor in your brain, so you don't feel any pain. So once that feeling, I know certain people don't like that feeling because certain drugs don't fit certain people. Yeah, you know, certain drugs just don't fit some people, you know. So, but this drug was like I even at one point I was even driving one time like, wow, I think, you know, just because I felt good, I felt confident, you know, I was not shy around people no more. I was it gave me a confidence, like a fake confidence, you know, because you're high, and that was also around the time where Future was coming out with, you know, everybody was talking about popping pills, you know, like, you know, doing pills and partying. So I just felt like, okay, I mean, they're doing it. So it was kind of like, you know, unwillingly. I just didn't know. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But that's pretty much what it was. You know, I started off just trying to numb my depression, just because I felt like a failure. You know, I didn't know where else to go. You know, like I quit school as well. So at just one point I was like, wow, like what do I, you know, I had to get a job, a low paying job. You know, like from the bottom, from being like praised in the sport to just being humbled and being like the runner boy. You know, hey, go get this and go, just because I didn't have no experience anywhere. And I was already getting older too. I was like 20, 21. So I was like, wow, you know, like it was really humbling, you know, it really humbling. But yeah, that's pretty much how it led to that point where I was just doing the pills, but then eventually those pills started like getting harder to get. You know, like people were
it's hard, right?
That too, and also the people you get along with. They like start scamming you. They don't, you know, like they'll like, you know, they say that they have some and then you'll try to go get, you know, it started getting sketchy with pills. Hard to get. So expensive as well. It was like so expensive to even buy, and I was like broke, you know, I was like just barely paying my bills, you know. So the next step from Percocets and Vicodin is heroin. So the tar, you know, it's like some black tar that they have from Mexico. So I got introduced to that, and you know, smoking the heroin. So that's where you know, that like it went downhill from there, bro. Like literally, the worst. But you know, I feel like it doesn't start off bad at first. You know, I feel like it's kind of weird, you know, because
your body.
Yeah, your body tricks you because it starts off all fun and games, you know, like, oh, like you don't even know you're addicted. You're like, oh, like this is cool, you know. I felt numb, like I had no pain in my body. I took away my anxiety, everything, my depression. At one point, like it puts me like in a chill, happy. It put me in a chill, happy mood. So it was just like it's all fun and games until your body gets used to it. That's when it's like hell, bro. Because your body tolerance gets high and high and high over the time. You know?
It's harder for you to get to that level.
Yeah, right. You're like chasing, like how they say that you're chasing the dragon. You know, that you're chasing the first high that you got. Mm-hmm. So it just gets to the point where it's not even to get high anymore. It's just to like feel good, like to maintain, and which it'll lead to, you know, the withdrawals and all this stuff. But it just gets to a point where your body's just like, you're just taking it to maintain and not feel sick, and it's like being in prison in your body, bro. That's how bad it gets.
And there was moments where you just needed it because you were sad or you weren't feeling right. Were you emotionally depending on it? Yeah. Or did you detach from knowing that because it's bad?
So with this type of drug, it gets to dependency like in your body. Like it's not even, you know how when people say you're tweaking out? You get to that point, bro. Like it gets, like it's like I always put this analogy. It's like when your soul and your body like are not together. They're not together no more, bro. And it's like you're living in your body, like in prison in your body because, you know, even though you want to stop. Even though you tell yourself, you know, there's been cases where people are like crying to their family, like, hey, I'm sorry, you know, I want to stop, but they can't. And that's how it feels, bro. Like it feels, it's like the craziest thing. It's like my body feels it. It's like your bones hurt if you don't take it. Like it's like the craziest feeling, bro. Like I remember the first withdrawals I got. Like the first withdrawals, you felt like you just couldn't get still. You couldn't sit still. Like your legs were like aching. Because your bones ache, like it's the point where your bones and your muscles need it. and it's just like you just start aching, so you get like restless legs, as they say, you know, like you get restless legs, so you get like, you know, you feel like you're tweaking. You see how people are like moving around and stuff. Yeah, it's generally, bro, like you're tweaking, bro. And
when was that first experience?
yeah, that was like, and honestly, bro, I didn't even know what I was going through withdrawals. It was just like one night, I just didn't have any. My friends were picking up their phone, and I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'll just get some tomorrow. But that night, I was like feeling unease, you know. I was like, whoa, this is weird, you know. Like, it's not like weed, you know, like, oh, okay, you know, you just fall asleep, or like, I get a little headache. It was like your body was like fiending for it, bro. Like, it gets to a point where you kind of get desperate. Like, you kind of get desperate. Like, you do things that you don't even expect that you want to do, you know. Like, that's why people, unfortunately, in my story, I never stole from my parents or anything like that. I felt like I was a drug addict that was productive. Like, I could hide it. Like, I was good at hiding it. And then plus I had a job where I could maintain it. So I was just hiding it from everybody, bro. Like, nobody knew I was on drugs. It was like living two different, you know, it was a separate group of friends that were doing it. And then I had a different group where I used to go out with and still party.
You share your stories with those drugs? Were you ashamed of talking about it?
Yeah, bro. I kind of feel like I've always been the person where like, I was always like, I never wanted to bring anybody into it as well. Like, in my heart, like I was just never like, because I could have told my friends on this other.
Hey, try it.
Yeah, like, hey, try this, bro. Nah, bro. And they didn't even know. Like, they just thought like, yeah, like why is Jeff always sleeping? You know, phone is nodding off. You know how they say they're nodding off, and they didn't even know. So I was just like depending. Like, it was crazy, bro, because it's like two different lives, you know. Like, one group of friends knew, and I was like bugging them, calling them, and eventually, just slowly, I started leaving the group of friends where they're just normal dudes, you know, going out. You know, they're still partying. It's not the best environment, but I was going closer to the other friends because I needed their drugs, you know. So I started getting to know the drug dealers and the other people that were addicted, and I mean, luckily, I've always had in my spirit, bro, that wasn't for me, you know, like. I realized, bro, because, you know, I feel like just growing up I mean, my family, we don't come from, like, drug addiction. Like, we don't have any, I mean, we have other, you know, small, you know, things, but it's never been like I don't see anybody like that's been full-blown drug addict and went to homeless and all this story, you know, like, so I was like the first one, and I never had anybody to really, I feel like I never had anybody to talk to about it, so I kind of just fell into it on accident. Like, I was like, wow, I guess I'm a drug addict. I remember just driving one time, I was like, wow, I guess I'm a drug addict, and that's what I have to do, you know, to like survive. But I mean, it still helped with your anxiety and stuff, because it gives you like a weird, like, you're kind of a zombie, bro. You're kind of a zombie because
you needed to be okay, or
yeah, like, you wanted to be okay. So I mean, and people could tell though something was up, you know. Like, people were like, I was so irritable, you know, like, didn't want, like, I always had to leave and like go somewhere, and it was because I was going and doing it, but I was just also impatient as well. But you know, I feel like, you know, because I had a family that was supportive too, and my mom praying for me. It kind of like, in my heart, bro, and then in my heart, I was like, this is not for me, you know, this is not good, this is not good. So I never went like full blown where I was like stealing and like, that wasn't my story, where I was like, you know, being sketchy and stuff. I was just like a productive drug addict, you know, like, and there's people like that. So eventually, you know, in 2015, I decided, all right, I gotta get clean, you know, because it got bad, bro. It got really bad. I was just so tired of it. I remember smoking and popping pills and then smoking the heroin and telling people while I was doing it, like, I want to quit, bro. And it's a process where you're telling people, hey, I want to quit, and then no, next week, because these withdrawals, bro. Oh my God, bro, they're the worst, bro. It's like, imagine having the flu, like a flu times 10, bro, because. And it's not like a chill, like you expect, like I was expecting, like, all right, I'm getting off drugs, let me go to sleep, and no, bro, like your body doesn't let you rest. So at first I was just trying everything on my own, bro. I didn't tell my family or nothing. So 2015 in October, I took the month. I was still working, so I don't know how I did it, but I usually the first week and the first 2 weeks are the worst symptoms. Like you get the flu, you literally have the flu symptoms with the stomach problem. You're throwing up constantly, so you're throwing up the yellow stuff. What is it? You're just like hyper acid and stuff, bro. Just because your body's just like what's going, like you're shocking your body because you're not giving it the drug. So I decided, like, all right, let me just, I still, luckily I was still able to go to work, bro. After work, I was in hell, bro. I used to go sit down, go into my girlfriend at the time, house, and I was just like, I used to sit down and just like try to recover, like try to make it through, just try to go through these withdrawals and sit, and I was like kicking, bro. Like it's just like the worst feeling. Like my body's aching, throwing up constantly. I remember I used to take long showers because when the showers for me, because your body's so because you're so numb, like with the drugs, your body's so numb, bro. Like everything is numb. But that's what it's meant to do. Is like painkillers, meant to take away the pain. So I remember just like once you stop, like you can feel everything, bro. All your emotions, all your aches, everything that you just feel it all at once. Your skin is so sensitive, it's so sensitive. But when you take a shower, it just helps it because it's like multiple little drops of water everywhere, and it kind of just eases your pain, eases. So I remember I used to sit in the shower, bro, and usually at nighttime was like the worst. Nighttimes were the worst, where you just feel like crap, because obviously during the day you're busy, you're doing stuff, you kind of get your mind distracted, but at night, I remember, bro, it was like 2 weeks that I slept for like 4 hours, bro. 4 hours in 2 weeks, because my body wasn't able to, sleep.
Were you still active?
Yeah, bro.
I'm tired.
Well, I was at the time. I wasn't doing those. I wasn't like working out, doing those. So it was just bumming it, bro. I feel like I was bumming it, like literally watching TV, eating, and I just had that lifestyle. So literally, bro, I was just the next, I literally stayed up all night because I couldn't sleep, throwing up. You get diarrhea too. It's bad, bro. It's like the worst. It's the worst, bro. It's like the worst. And I remember the next day going to work at 6 in the morning, bro. Like after not getting no sleep, going to work. And then during the work, it was easier because you're distracted. You're busy and you're doing stuff. And then after, bro, it was like you're in hell. You're in hell. So
How many times did you think about it?
Bro, to go back or to
just try once, or just let the pain go, or
bro, that's where it's like hell, bro, because your mind is telling you like just go do it and you feel fine. Like it's so weird, bro. Like you literally are fighting that urge, because if you go do that drug, all those symptoms go away. It's like the trippiest thing, bro. Like I feel it's like you're in prison with your body and your soul, and it's like separated. You're literally trying to be clean and trying to do good, and it's like there's thoughts in your mind like, hey, just go do it. You'll feel fine after. And what you do, well, you're fighting through that. So you have to fight through that at the same time. But this first time I was trying to do it on my own will, which obviously it's not. It doesn't go your way, bro. It doesn't really go your way. When you're trying to do it in your own will and your own, you could go so far on your own, like they say, So eventually, I did what you were saying. Like I tried it. I was like, all right, I've been clean I literally stopped for like a month, bro. Literally stopped.
A month.
Yeah, a month, bro. And then on my birthday, 2015, my birthday, I was like, that's my birthday. I could, let me try it one time, and I knew I could stop. Because I stopped in October, I had the whole October and half of November. Like I felt it was like a month.
Right.
And in November, I was like, I could do it one time. And like they say, bro, you do it one time, you're back to it, bro. Like you're back to it. Like your body just like, all right, you're back on the.
You just did it one day, or did you do it the next day after your birthday?
You know how you tell yourself, I'm just do it one day. Nah, bro. I don't recommend anybody trying that. No, anybody that you want to get clean, they don't listen to that voice in your head that's telling you like, oh, just you're fine. Do it one time. It's really just it's trippy, bro. It's really like you're fighting your own mind and your body, and even though you want to do good, like your mind still tricks you. You know, there's thoughts in there too. So I eventually, bro, got back to it, full blown back to it, bro.
How many times a week type thing?
So I was clean from October, like half of October, half of November to my birthday, and then once I was like, oh, the holidays, I don't want to be sick during the holidays, so back to the holidays, back to the new year again. So eventually, bro, it got so bad around this time, actually in June.
June 2016.
Yeah, 2016 June, right? I had to tell my parents, bro, because it was so depressing, because like in between the year I was like trying to get clean too, but then I only lasted a day or so and then get back to it, and then I had to work. Yeah, bro, all year, bro, the worst time. I wasn't even enjoying the high anymore. Like it was more just like maintaining, bro. It was maintaining like my sanity, maintaining my health. Because if you stop, bro, it's like you're going back to hell, like going back to those like throwing up, going back to everything going crazy, right? And eventually, bro, I decided to tell my parents. Because I haven't told nobody. I just, my girlfriend knew. I didn't tell nobody. I was like, hey, like I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with the addiction. So I told my parents. My dad caught me one of the last times, because I relapsed, but one of the last times in July, because it was June. I told them. So I was trying to, they were like, oh, just stay in the house. Now my parents are trying to help me, right? Stay in the house. And the only way they could help, they don't know how to deal with drug addiction. We don't have anybody in our family that does it. So they're like, all right. My mom was like, just stay here at the house. We'll do whatever you can. I'll cater to you. Whatever, if you're feeling sick, I got you. Now I got my mom's support,
Right.
Which I was really appreciated. But eventually, bro, I was able to get it. My mind tricked me again. So one time before, like in like early July, I was gonna go, because actually it was my neighbor that sold the drugs, the heroin.
No way.
Yeah, bro. So it was across the street,
It's
right?
right there.
Imagine that, like the drug dealer's right there. So one time, bro, my dad caught me sneaking out in the morning, and caught me going to their house, and he already knew what it was because I already told him. So he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I was just telling my dad, like, I can't, like, I need it. Like, I feel like crap. Like, I'm tired of feeling like this. So my dad, that it was a Saturday, bro. Imagine a Saturday, early in the morning, he caught me, bro, like 8 o'clock. So, and I was feeling already sick, the symptoms coming, the withdrawals. And my dad took me downtown, bro. And it's like, I didn't know, but it was a homeless rehab for homeless people, bro. So, and it's homeless, bro. So a lot of people are there waiting, bro. I waited like from like 9 o'clock in the morning, bro, to they were able to check me in like at I'll say like 6, 7 p.m., bro.
No way.
I was sitting, in the waiting room, sitting there, bro, like feeling the worst, bro. Like not comfortable, like nauseous, throwing up, going to the restroom. Feeling all those symptoms, bro. But luckily I had my dad with me, like I'm so grateful for my dad because he stayed there. He could have just dropped me off, but he stayed there with me. And I was talking to homeless people, bro. Like I was talking to people that were even worse off. Like they're already years in, homeless, like doing drugs. Yeah, doing drugs already. And then it's like they're normal. Like, hey, I come here, I want to get clean for a night, and then they go back. Like I feel like they didn't take it serious, bro. But maybe some did, but I don't want to judge. But I just remember, bro, one of those like visions that I have to like keep the memory, was when they finally took me to the back so they could get my vitals at that homeless rehab. I remember, bro, I was so weak. My body was just so drained because I was just so sick. Like I was barely like able to stay up. I was like leaning down, like my body was just so weak. Like I've been throwing up all day. And I just remember looking out to the hallway with my dad, like watching me, and like the disappointment that he had. Coming from back to the sports, right? Where they're cheering you on, bro, cheering you on. You scored a goal, they're picking you up. From that high, bro, to the lowest lows, bro. Like where I see my dad like disappointed in me, and it really affected me, bro. Like I told myself I need to take this mental picture. You know, I can't go back to this. I have to do it, right? Eventually, they got me in. I was there for a day or two. I was like, oh, I'm good. I went the next day. I got high again. And yeah, bro, yeah. So I realized, so it's a process, bro. I thought it was just like, all right, help me for this day or two, and no, bro. So I remember, bro, like, I left, and then I told my mom, like, hey, mom, like, I need a better rehab. I can't go to the homeless. Like, can we find a decent one? Like, so
right there.
Yeah. So we went to another one. There's one. It's in Phoenix as well. It's called Calvary. I think Calvary Rehabilitation or something like that. And we looked it up, and it's like Christian based, right?
Right.
So we went to check it out, and I was like, you know, all right, let me try it out. So they have a detox period where it's like a week, and they give you medication because they could lean you off of it, which is easier than just cold turkey, like I was trying to do with cold turkey, right? So they give you a little, you know, they lean you off of it slowly, right? So the pain is manageable because the withdrawals are just horrible, bro. Like you feel like you're dying, but you're not. This is crazy. Especially with heroin, it's like you feel like you're dying and you don't die. It's like one of the drugs that, and then you could die with, bro. You could die with Xanax, bro. Yeah, you could die with Xanax withdrawals because you have seizures. But with heroin, like it's just your body's just like you feel like you're dying, but no, you're not dying. Like you'll survive. You just have a really bad flu, you know. So I went in for the week, bro, for the detox. I went out, and so that was already the end of July, like that week. And then I went out a couple days later, bro. I relapsed again. Yeah. I was bro. I remember crying, bro. Like I was at the Jack in the Box here down the street. I remember, bro, just sitting there, like just crying and like so disappointed in myself. You know?
What was it?
What do you mean?
What drug?
It was the heroin, bro. I just went back to it because, bro, like my neighbor was the one that had it. It's like, imagine just having the temptation across the street.
Why didn't you tell your neighbor? You didn't want to?
No, I did, bro. Like, they already knew, they've been knowing that I want to get clean, but, you know, you always just talk. It's always just talk when you're an addict. But eventually people get back to it. It's like a cycle, bro. It's like...
But you never felt like any sort of guilt?
I honestly, bro, I don't know. That's kind of trippy to think about it.
You don't think about it like that, but I do. Like, you know, because if somebody told me
a friend, right? Like
right, a friend would probably never give it to you.
Exactly. No, but you know what, bro? I don't want to have any like ill will towards him. You know, because I feel like we kind of, you know, just because we kind of both fell into it, and he was, So
it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, exactly. I forgive and everything, and I wish him the best. You know, and he knows that. He knows that. But at the time, he was just like, you know, like everybody says they want to get clean and then they come back. You know, that's what it is. That's how drug addiction is, bro.
In addition to that, matter of fact, probably when you were going up to him, your body knew you were getting it, so you probably acted normal.
Yeah, exactly.
You weren't feeling that.
Yeah. I wasn't feeling that sick.
So he saw you as if you were.
Yeah. I was like, I was like, oh, he's cool. Like,
if he had seen you, probably like. Dying with the flu, maybe he would have.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, exactly, right. So and he just saw me normal. I'm like, hey, bro, and the temptation, bro, and it's not on him, bro, because I'm the one that made that decision, right?
Right, correct.
So that I went back to, bro. But then I was like, you know what, mom? That rehab that I went to, they have a month thing, right? Like a month thing. Like you stay in for a month, you know. And I just told my mom, like, Mom, I'm tired of this. Like, I need to go. I think I just need to go in for a month. They tried to keep me the first time, and I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'll be good. And then I relapsed. But then I was like, no, you know what, Mom? Let me try it for a month. I need to get clean. Luckily, you know, luckily, bro, I honestly that week I even got fired from my job. You know, the day I got fired, bro, is because I was driving the vans that my job was like picking up. I used to work for special needs with adults, picking them up, right? So one morning I got into a car accident, which it wasn't my fault. Like it was the other person's fault. But obviously, when you get into a car accident in a company's vehicle, they need to drug test it. So now I was just like, all right, I'm gonna get caught up. Like it was just like all meant to be, bro. It was all meant to be for me to like.
So you abducted from the.
Yeah,
You had to just accept it and.
Yeah, accept it. All right, now you know I just like all right. I'm gonna get let go because obviously they're gonna look at my I'm gonna get caught up with the drug. So I was like I quit. So I was able to quit my job. I kind of like put my faith in God, and I was like, all right, let me go into this rehab, really give the 100% effort. And stay there for a month. Like what? Like I need this. Like I had no other option, bro. No other option. So I was in the rehab for a month. And so in August 3rd, 2016, I was in the rehab for the month, right? Bro, my whole summer. Imagine they take away your phones. Like I think you only have like one phone call a day. It's just intense therapy all day.
Boot camp.
Yeah, bro. Exactly, right. And then you're going, bro, it's like you're going through these, like, your withdrawals, but then, you have other people there, which is helpful, but you're alone, bro. Like, I feel like you're alone with, like, you don't know the people there,
Did you integrate yourself? Did you make yourself feel like less than other people?
I also, bro, I had a lot of guilt. Like, I had a lot of guilt. I mean, everybody felt that way, Everybody had their...
Everybody felt ashamed?
Yeah, everybody felt ashamed, bro, and, like... Different stories that you hear. Everybody, there's alcoholics, different drug addictions, different addictions in there. So it was just like intense. Imagine just going like therapy all day, every day, for the whole summer, bro. Imagine, and then that's when like Drake came out with like the Summer 16 tour, bro. Like it was everything. Imagine like just knowing like everybody's having a fun time, bro. And I'm in this place, like it's like a willingly going into prison because they take away everything from me, And I'm just there, bro, like focused and in pain, but I'm by myself. But I'll make some friends there. I do have some really close friends.
Do you still talk to them?
I need to reach out.
All right.
I'm not really good at reaching out, and I need to reach out because I need to make sure that they're good. But so I stayed there for the month, and that's what really saved me, bro. Like just being able to really admit and surrender that I can't do this on my own. That's the first when you go to rehab, and then if you're really an addict, that's a 12-step program. This is the most successful way to get over addiction, and I feel like any addiction, it's 12 steps, and the steps are like surrender, ask for help, and also ask for a higher power, have a higher power, which I grew up Christian, so I feel like God really put me there just so I could like sit myself down, humble myself, and really work on myself, bro. Like,
how much of a detachment did you have from God during your late teenage years? Because you don't mention him past soccer. So did you? What made you get away from him? What made you distance yourself from him? Because now you remember God.
Yeah.
Now you go to church every weekend.
Yeah, bro.
You rep the cause.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
However, later in your teenage years, you seem to have gone away from him.
Yeah.
And during your drug addiction, do you think you weren't connected to him?
You're right, bro. I distanced myself from the church just because when you grow up in these type of churches,
you get tired of it.
You get that too, and the Spanish churches, they're super like religious sometimes. Even though they have good intentions, but religious. And then sometimes I had a group of friends there too, like guys that are around my age. And even though they were there and serving, I knew what they did on the side, and I didn't like that hypocrite, like being a hypocrite, like I hated that. Even as I wasn't a serious Christian, I just hated that. I was just like, I'm like, bro, like if you're serving God and doing all this, like be more, So it kind of like distanced me from those teenage years. I kind of just distanced, and I told my mom, like, Mom, I just feel like there was no God. Like I just literally felt like, all right, I just felt like I just didn't feel the need. I didn't. Also around 2004, my grandmother passed away. So she was like my mother. She was like my second mother, bro. Like she was like so important to me, and she was also real into church, So she was really a backbone to me to go to church and stuff. And then when she left, and I was in high school, I'm so busy with soccer and being a kid that I just like, I don't need church, Like I used to tell my mom I don't want to go to church, and once once you get to this like dark place, bro, once you get to like the bottom, bro, and you already tried, like I said, I already tried everything on my own, like on my own will. And then you just like, when you have nothing else, bro, and then you're so depressed, like I get to the point where I was suicidal, bro, like thinking like, I guess I gotta die, like if there's nothing else. God comes in, bro. God comes in and saves you. And I'm so grateful because even when I was in rehab, I feel like God was working in rehab, working through other people and talking to me, comforting me, bro. I even had the other day I checked my journal because I only wrote one day. I wrote one journal entry, right? I was gonna tell myself, oh, let me write down like my experiences so I could read back. And I read one, the only one I had, bro. And it was around, it was in the detox the second time I went back to like when I really was serious and I stayed the month, but I went back, bro, and there was like this older man. His name was Bob, and he really comforted me, bro. Like it was really like, cause you feel lonely in there, like you just feel so hopeless, like I don't know what my family was doing, like it was like I only had one phone call a day.
You weren't able to be visited?
At the time they didn't at certain weeks they allow you to visit, like so it was like I had like 2 weeks, bro, where my family couldn't go and visit me.
Oh.
So it was just like so depressing. And us Hispanics, we're so family oriented, right, that our family, my family is everything to me. So bro, it was like the worst. Like I remember that entry was like I even put it in there I'm wondering what my family's doing. I know they're out there having fun, and I'm in here, due to my own consequences. But I also wrote about this guy that was in there, bro. Like this older man, like he was like in his 70s, and I feel like he was like God looking out for me, bro, because he put him in there like at the same time, and he really like comforted me, bro. Like just being like a good man, like because I always wanted like a big bro, like I always grew up like I didn't grow up with a brother, until I got my little brother, but I always wanted someone to mentor me and a big bro, I wanted a big bro. He was really someone that I even wrote it down, like wow, like this guy, this man, like he really comforted me, motivated me. And I even put it in there. I know if I come back, he won't be here. Like, it's like meaning like it's not like every time I go back it's promised, because I didn't want to. That was my worst fear, bro. Falling back, I didn't want to like that feeling again, like going back to those withdrawals again, bro. Because they come back, bro. Like once you relapse, you have to go through it again, bro. Like it's like if it just started, like it's like hell, bro, hell. So I stayed in there for the month, and it was really neat, bro. It humbled me. I needed to be humbled, I feel, because when you're in sports and when you're out and talking to people and kind of, I don't say I'm popular, but I had a group of friends, and then now, bro, I'm in a small room, hurting, like my body, everything's hurting. I'm all emotional because every feeling's coming back, and just sitting there like why am I here? It's like, but the worst, bro. But God comes in, and that was God's faith, and just he really helped me. He helped me like tremendously, bro, to keep me in the straight path. And that's one of the steps. And now that I was rereading the steps, bro. And it's really like, it's the steps to get clean, and this is like the most, like the AA, they have the AA thing, right? Where they go and talk as a therapy, everybody talks in a group. Right. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Like, the group
therapy, they go talk, and you go talk about your testimonies, right? Like you go talk about your story and stuff. And they have your steps, bro, they have the steps, and it's, now that I look back in it and I read it, it's pretty much, bro, like accepting that you can't control everything, surrendering, and then telling God I need help. Like it's on the steps. If you read these steps, which I recommend if you are going through any drug addiction, to go look at the 12 steps, Just to, that's pretty much what me without willingly, I was doing it already because I grew up in a religion, my Christian,
Right.
and my mom was there, bro. So my mom's such a faithful, she prayed a lot for me. So I didn't have to go through the AA meetings because I already have a good core foundation with my family, so, my cousins and everybody. And yeah, I already have that, the group. So, and then and going to church and all this, so I already had that. But if you don't, I recommend, I do recommend going to the AA meetings, talking to other people, giving your testimony to try to help people, because your story, like, hopefully my story could help someone out, like just, saying, could really save someone's life, I believe, and that's what really, this is my first time really sharing, like, the process, bro, but eventually, I got out of the month, bro. I surrendered myself. I told God that God, like, help me help me stay clean. I don't want to fall back. And then after the month, bro, God gave me a month of just be home because I didn't have a job. I had to quit. And then he blessed me with a job, bro, which I'm still at now.
Really?
Which is, yeah, so 20 the same job, bro, and it's just because, and I never, bro, this is a call center job, and like speaking with people, and I didn't have that, like, I never had the communication skills, bro, because I only knew soccer, but I did work with special needs, so they did help me with, talk and stuff, but I really told God, hey, God, like, help me, bless me with the job, and he blessed me with this job, and I remember even, like, people confirming it, and, like, because, and the job is progress. The job's name, so like the coincidence, and I'm so blessed, bro, because it's been a journey though, and I can't say that it's like, what is it, you ride off in the sunset type. I can't say it's just like easy, bro. Cinderella story. It's not, bro, because it's always like it's a day by day, and they say that when you try to get clean, it's day by day, You just live day by day, you do your best, you don't fall into the temptation. Keep in prayer. I'm really into prayer now. I'm all about, spiritual growth and also physical, because once you get clean, like all your emotions come back, and bro, it's like the truth. Like I was like an emotional like person, bro, like crying all the time, and stuff for the few months after. Like it's just. It's a process even after you leave, and it's like a whole process just to get your body back to normal, to feeling normal. It's a process, but I think it's well worth it, bro. Because living in a prison, because you genuinely, bro, feel like you're in prison in your own body, bro. And it's like the worst feeling that I could ever feel. Like the worst feeling, bro. Like I don't. Anybody that's having an addiction problem right now, I just, I'm praying for them, because I know the feeling of that hopelessness, you're just so hopeless, but just know that, it's greener on the other side, bro. Like if you really put your true effort, not fake. You can't be faking this. Like you gotta be true. Like you gotta be honest with yourself. Cut ties with certain people that are not good influences on you. And you know how your parents always tell you, like, oh, your friends are, yeah, you are what your friends are. Unfortunately, bro, it's true, bro. It's true. So I recommend, and don't be, it's not being like malicious and being a bad person and cutting people off. Sometimes you just gotta, for you to grow, you have to, trim, prune. It's like a plant, you're a plant, you gotta prune yourself so you could grow more and grow fruit. So I feel like, you gotta let go of certain people that are not making you grow. You gotta cut those people out. Don't be malicious about it, but, hope the best for them, and genuinely make the effort of getting yourself better, bro. Like spiritually, physically, mentally, everything. And I trust me, it's like it's way better living, bro. Because I know how it is to be, and it's not just for like pain pills and that type of drugs. It's for everything, any type of addiction, bro. Like even weed. You know, I had a hard time getting off weed too. You know, like it's a process, but I feel like you're just trying to escape reality. You know, it's like, and it wastes your life. I used to feel like, oh, like it's so cool when it just wastes your life. Like they say that you have 2 lives. Once you realize that you only have one, that's when it is, bro. And that's facts. And I realized, bro, I only have one life. Let me live to my fullest potential. And you know, that's what I really want. You know, hopefully my story could help someone out, just to be motivated to make that step, because it's a hard step, bro. It's a hard step. Trust me. Like, it's like one of the hardest steps to do when you truly want to get clean, but it's well worth it, bro. Well worth it, bro.
And it's kind of scary to think, like you say, you only live once, but how much time did you lose during that addiction? Like, I know it's not good to bring it up, you know, say thinking like what you could have been or what you could have done.
Yeah, bro.
Like, it's not healthy, but it's hard for you to not to think about, you know.
Hey, bro, yeah, exactly. So now I look back and all that time I wasted, bro. And it's humbling, bro, because you know, when I was like, you know, when I was younger, I was like, oh, by 30, I'm gonna have my house, I'm gonna have a nice car, my job. Reality, bro, most likely it's not like that. You know, life is not like that. Life throws you curveballs all the time. You know, like it's not as planned, and it's just I had to humble myself. Like, be humble, like help others. Like the best, like no money, no drugs, no girls, no party could ever feel as good as when you help someone out. I feel like when you're just being a good person and listening. Because I feel now in our age, bro, it's all about social media and like this acting like you're living this, you know, this life where everybody's going through something, bro. Everybody's going through something, and I just feel like, you know, it's good to just pause and like pause, reflect, talk to people, just have conversations. It's hard nowadays to even have a conversation with people, you know, just because everybody's so into their phones and social media and texting. Like, it's good when you just, like, a lot of people just don't hear each other out anymore. You know, that's something that I feel our society has lost. Just having like conversation.
The ability to communicate.
Communication. That's what, you know, and I just, you know, I pray that whoever's going through any addiction, to really, you know, make that. I feel like.
What would you say to them, actually? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I feel like if you're going through any type of addiction, please keep going. Like, don't make that the end of your life destiny. You should try your best to better yourself. Make that decision to take, you know, surrender, ask for help. You know, ask your parents, or if you don't have parents, you know, ask anybody that's close to you that loves you, to get yourself help. And I feel like, you know, if you're even feeling like you're at a point where you want to be suicidal, don't do it. Because I know that feeling of that hopelessness, and there's nothing more. But trust me, like, life is so much more, and you could change that. You could change that, and you could have a better life. There's a different life out there for you. So I feel like, you know, truly make that effort, bettering yourself, being a better person, help others, and get spiritual with God. And I feel like God is really something that everybody is missing sometimes. I feel like just having a spiritual connection, you know, I feel like that's what could really help you out. And I pray that everybody that's listening could really benefit from, you know, from me being, you know, transparent. You know, it's pretty scary. You know, this is my first time, and I just feel like, you know, there's people out there that really want to help as well. So just keep on going.
This was Jeffrey and his story about drug addiction and how he rehabbed from it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, brother.
Bless you, brother.
Thank you, brother. How long was that?